So, a friend and I have begun a 33-day challenge where we are doing a somatic practice and scripting daily. So, a breakfast script, reading the script during breakfast or like in the morning, pairing it with something that is done every day already, atomic habit style. And yeah, it has been really fruitful already, and it's day 2. So I figured I would come on here and talk about it a little bit because it has coincided with this realization and sort of like coming to the truth of the matter about the way that I've experienced my health the past few years, which has been challenging, and I'm ready for it to not be challenging. And it feels like nonsensical to me. Like it doesn't make any sense, and I know because of past experiences that like when I'm not in work that is like fully using my gifts, I get sick. I have gotten sick. And hopefully, and by hopefully, I mean this is the end of that because I'm done. I'm over it. I cannot. And so part of that has been researching about like this phenomena, shamanic illness. It's this idea or this experience of having near death experiences, being super ill, and the only thing that solves it is getting back on the path. Not to say, like, I'll never experience like a health hardship again. Not that I want to, but I'm just saying, like, it just feels different than what this is and has been right now. And so I was like, okay, like I need to figure out like what I am not doing or what I'm supposed to be offering. And today it felt super urgent. I was just like, I'm so over it. Like, I need to talk to someone. I want to say that, like, I read about shamanic illness before, but I didn't want to be like, I'm experiencing this because I'm a shaman in a like diluted sort of new agey way, you know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know. But at the same time, I'm trained in a lot of things that a shaman might be trained in, that's all I'll say. Um Nonetheless, I think it's like a sort of in other contexts known thing in spiritual ideology, the concept of getting sick when you were just like not in your purpose and not sharing your gifts. So somehow I came to the realization today that amongst, my scripting and my somatic practice, that I want to open and I want to create, that's what I'll call it. I want to create a sound art space instead of complaining that, although complaining has been one of my most powerful manifestation methods, lol. But yeah, like instead of complaining that I'm like missing out on everything that's happening in Europe that I see um, from my little side of the screen, and it looks so cool. Like it just looks super fun and amazing and like inspiring. And I'm not necessarily one to be like hyping up Europe in general. No shade to Europeans, but I'm just like, I feel like there are people that are like obsessed with France as Americans for like no real reason. Like, I don't know, in a weird way. That's the preface of saying like I'm I'm looking at what's happening and it's just so exciting to me, and I'm just like, wow, I want to experience that. And I went to Europe for the first time last summer with a friend. And we went to the Sound Art Biennial in Denmark, which was amazing. And I loved like every moment of that trip. So there's that. Instead of being, like, woe is me, the thing that I want to happen is not happening here where I am. And like, I feel like there's not as many opportunities here and blah, 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 blah. It just occurred to me to start a sound art space. But this is, why is this important for manifestation? It's because this is something, and maybe this is like, I'm gonna like create like a terminology, sort of like vocab, word bank situation, since in previous videos I described that I am building and retracing my own manifestation so that I can understand how I manifest the best, the quickest, most efficiently, etc. And I encourage everyone to try it for themselves. But anyway, this is something that I will call, basically it was eclipsed. It was something that like I really, really wanted, and I have talked about wanting it. And also, it just felt so impossible. Like, it just felt like such a dream. Like, oh, I can never, like, have that. That is crazy. Like, I don't even know what that is like, or like, I don't know. I guess the context here is that I live in a place that is one of the most expensive places to live in the world as I understand it. And so I just am like, yeah, like whatever, that's a dream. And it's not that I think that I couldn't do it. I think that I can do it. I mean, I am gonna do it. That's a whole sort of idea of this video. I'm gonna do it. And yeah, I was like, I don't know. I'm like trained as an energy healing practitioner, and it just like fully, I know that like it's not my central thing that I am meant to do in the world. It's part of it. I use energy work a lot in my work, and I use it in my life. There's that. But I don't want to go too deep into this, but there's like things that I feel about showing up as that person. Like, I don't know that that's my role. I would rather have a different role. So, yeah, it was something that was eclipsed because I just was like, I'm never gonna have enough money for that. Or, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like, it was thought of so long ago that it just becomes this like background thing. But the thing is that like there's so many ways to get something done. And by get something done, I mean let the universe or whatever. I'm saying the universe because it's like, okay, we're in the universe, but I think that God for me, or the butterfly maker, is above the universe if you're keeping tabs on the lore from previous videos. So just like letting like the material world arrange and rearrange itself into that. and not being like, I don't know how to do it. And it's like, I know these things. And they're just, moments where things just get eclipsed. And yeah. But it started because I was talking with someone about, oh my God, I was joking about how it is like illegal. I need to be like, I'm grounded, I'm punished, like I'm punishing myself for not writing poetry and not reading as much poetry as I should be reading. And I'm gonna should myself on that. Like, I think that poetry is incredibly important, and I think that it's incredibly important specifically to my soul. And, everyone's soul if you're lucky, but like, okay, no, for real, everyone's soul. But like, yeah, the conversation was about poetry. I was like, oh, I have so many good poetry books, but they're in storage. And I was like having this conversation among friends, and then I was like, and I don't know where they are, and and I wish I could read them right now. And then something that was said in the conversation was like, did you know that like if you have 1,000 books, then you like qualify as a library? And I was like, no, but like that's why I have a lot of books, is because I like envision them being part of an art space. And really, like, I have like quite a few instruments, and I have those instruments because in my head I'm like, this is going to be like in a music room, like in the future of an art space that I have. And that's something that I've thought since I wasn't even living in California. So like deep and long. I was talking about that and how the books, yeah, I have some really cool sound art books or sound related books and just really cool books in general. And I wish that they were available for people to use, because I can't read every book at the same time. Like, that's just not it. And like, I have all these books and they're right now in storage. Like, I'm like, because I'm in the process of moving. So that led me to the realization and the remembering of what I want. And then I was like, wait, I should do that. I should actually do that. And I think that it opened me up to feeling that I can. And I used to work at this art space that is so like, I feel like it's very close to the core of the way that I interact with spaces and interact with my practice and interact with life. Like, it feels like that serious to me. And this art space has had that much of an impact on me that, like, yeah, like I have experience working at an art space that to me was like one of the most profound things I've ever experienced. Like, it was such a magical, magical, magical place. And it's a magical place because of the people that were running it and envisioning it. And I'm so grateful that like tearing up. I'm so grateful that I was a part of it, and as many, and hopefully no longer, but as many really cool art spaces of the past are no longer, like, it has transitioned into something very different than what it was. And that's a whole other conversation about other things that I won't go into. But I have the experience of working at this like incredible art space and being around two inspiring people and artists, and this programming and just the way that we can exist. And so Basically, I want that, but I want the sound art version of it. And I I truly think that like this is the pathway to just for real being healed, and I already feel it. It's funny because right in the moment, I don't even want to get into the health stuff that's been happening, but there was like there were parallel things going on this whole setting. I was like, this is so crazy. But anyway, within what was it? It was like within the hour of me being like, I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna focus on this year. I, in the past, have been like, maybe I should be this, maybe I should be this. And I think it's just because, like, what I actually truly wanted to do, I just felt like was so out of range. And it's like, it's not. I can find ways to do whatever. The world opens up in mysterious ways. Within that time, I'm like telling my friend about this, and then they're like, oh, well, you can share my studio with me if you want to help me like organize the things that are kind of in the way, and yeah, then we can like make it that. I was like, wait, what? First of all, that's not what I meant. Second of all, I do need a studio, and third of all, like that's an the the point of realization of the capital T truth for me, and the subsequent like unlockings of everything is just like, I'm like, oh, okay, we're back. We're so back. I feel like it is just, I don't know, I just feel so excited, and I feel like there are sound art spaces. I'm not even gonna call it that. I'll call it there are sound art educational institutional programs. There are sound art venues here. There's studios, recording studios. I correct me if I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong, honestly, but like I don't think that I'm wrong. They're not sound art spaces. They're not. There's some barking going on. Okay, I'll make it quick. So yeah, they're not sound art spaces. They're not exactly what I am, like longing for watching. Like I'm like watching people play outside, and I'm inside, and I'm just like, I'm so sad. Like, that looks so fun. And I can just do that here, and I have the people and the knowledge, and I just trust. I just trust it so much. And I feel like this is my leapfrog of being like, I'm not gonna doubt anymore. I'm just ending it. I'm not identifying as someone who doubts their manifestations, because why would I do that? It's like an active choice. So